But the theme throughout the whole thing has really been tension, because like I said, if you guys can get around the course and under 100, then you can hit the golf ball, and they're just small things. It's not always an overhaul in the golf swing. That's a hard thing to do, to spend all that time trying to change everything with the golf swing. And I hadn't really changed anything. I mean, with you, it's just a setup and trying to come more inside. Same thing with Jared, just trying to get a little more hinge to help him come back from the inside. And with Roger and Cindy, a lot of it's just that takeaway to make sure they don't get too quick. So it's not something big. And even if you don't get time to practice out there, just practicing putting can help with that tension. The more you practice that putting and the more you work on that relaxing the grip, it carries over to everything. And that's really if you don't take anything else away from any of it, it's the biggest thing you understand, or you can at any point out when you're playing golf and you're struggling, and if you can just think, just less tension, just relax a little bit.
I guess it's kind of like I told you, I play a lot of baseball and softball. First hitting instructor I ever had told me, when you swing the bat, it should feel like you're going to throw it at the pitcher.
Yeah, like you're almost going to release it.
It should be so loose, it feels like you're going to throw the bat.
Yep.
It should go right back up.
Almost the same thing with the golf club, because we're trying to release that club head, and that's why you added some extra distance there, because instead of hold on to it so tight, now you've allowed yourself to get that hinge and that release, and that's where that club head speed comes from. If you've ever seen a tour player in slow motion, I mean, their hands are like this all the way down to like right here.
Yeah.
And it almost, yeah, most cameras can't catch up to them when they get to there, and because they got that pull down like this, they don't have that over here. That's where all that distance is lost, and the over the top. And
that's what I saw when we were down at East Lake. We were standing this far from Dustin Road, and he hit, and I paid special attention to his hands. And I told her, I couldn't believe how far he got his hands down before he released the club. It almost looked like he wasn't
exactly.
swing.
Yeah. Look at Jim Furyk. That's why Jim Furyk is allowed. You know, that's why his swing works. He has that crazy backswing, but if you look at from here to here, right here from the ball to here to the ball, he's probably the best on tour at getting that club in the perfect spot. Getting his hands in that perfect spot. But think about his swing. If he jerked that club back, it would not, that loop would not work at all.
No.
He's got that low, slow, and that's why he loops it and then gets it back in the slot. I mean, all of them. Every single person that's why Fred Couples can hit it 400 yards almost.
It looks like he's not even swinging.
It's a long, slow swing, and then that and as you get more comfortable with it, the swing speed's going to increase. The more that you're saving that energy to put in the ball, the more you get confidence in that swing speed can increase, and that may be what happened, on number 2 or something. You may have felt confident with it and took probably, just a little bit faster swing, and all that energy got to the golf ball.
And the ladies, the small little Korean ladies, I mean, some of them can hit the ball 260, 270 without even a swing.
Yeah.
Like Indy Park, she don't even swing the club. It's like, how in the world?
They just take
but
it
it's
back
right
smooth,
here.
and they get it in the proper spot. And the easiest way to get there is to not jerk the club around. And that's the main goal, is to get to the club face with the club square. That was really, the main thing really.
Okay, I'll see if you mean.
Is just the tension and try. And if there's, hopefully, like I said, if anything helps, it's if there's a time out there where you're just frustrated or mad, that the one thing you can remember, or if you ever feel like it's too hard, that you just have too much tension and you're just trying too hard. And sometimes it just means that, okay, don't take full swings, take some half swings. Or, I read a great tip from Luke Donner one day, that if he's ever playing terrible and felt like he's never played golf before, instead of trying to fix the score on the round, he'll start playing shots he normally wouldn't hit. He'll start trying to play low shots or big fades or things like that. Because as he starts hitting those shots, and if it starts working, now he's starting to build that confidence back up. So if you're just having to play bad, it doesn't necessarily have to be a loss. You take it as a practice and say, okay, well, I never hit this shot on this hole. I've never hit this club before. Why don't I just try it?
Yeah.
Because then that's going to help, get rid of that tension and that anger of.
And if you get a bad shot, say, well,
I never tried either way. But if you get a good shot, you're like, oh, wow. That's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, think about, too, more than likely, all of you can take half swings and know that you can hit the ball fairly straight, right? Instead of thinking at that overall target. Yeah. So instead of staying, I'm just shaking this full swing with a 7-iron. Okay, well, take an 8 or a 6 and just half swing it and just get down there. And if it takes a couple extra strokes. The whole, again, shooting the scores that you guys can shoot, you can get around the golf course. And there's just things maybe you haven't thought about, or maybe you just don't know. And so that's one of the whole things I was trying to do, is help with tension, because I see it everywhere with myself and everyone else I give lessons with. Even sometimes on tour when people hit bad shots, you can just see the tension that they have built. In pressure pack situations, the ones that haven't been there typically don't do very well because of that tension. And there's little ways you can help get rid of the tension without really overhauling your golf swing. On the putting green, it's practicing trying not to 3-putt. Or you could even say, okay, I'm going to put a tee in random spots, 3, 5, 10, and try to hit all those spots and make all those putts. And don't leave it till you finish. Sometimes it may take a while, but you can try it. Just see how many in a row you can get, and then next time out try to beat that record. That way, you kind of practice putting under that pressure because no one understands it unless they do it. It's just something. I remember my first PAT. I didn't think I could putt. The very first hole I had to play for my PAT. I was on the green. It's at the Hermitage. I had back to weight. I could not bring myself to take the putt. It's just hard to do. And if you practice it, you put yourself in good situations. The other thing is, before you're round, try to putt some, at least 1 or 2 on the green. To at least give yourself a chance to know what you're going up against. If you don't, like I said, you may give away a few holes. You don't even know it. You may give away 3 3-putts in the first 3 holes and play great and say, if I would have 3-putted 3 times, I would have finally shot, 81 or down in the 70s. So you got to give yourself a chance. And then with the chipping, remember, it's not always about hitting it through the hole. It's about getting it on the green and maybe trying to get it in a spot where you don't have a real difficult putt. Because if we don't double chip, we save strokes there. And that's one of the things you can do is keep track of double chip with 3 putts. But no, if you're getting better, that's the best way to do it. Out of bunkers, again, it's not about hitting at the hole. And it takes practice. You just can't do it. You guys did pretty well. There were some good ones and some bad ones. For the most part, you have a good base. So making sure you widen your stance, you get a good base. And don't focus on the golf ball. Try to focus, start your club at the ball, but try to focus on, 6 inches or so behind that ball. Because that's how so when I drew the line and hit it, you saw where my club face came in, right at the line, and you guys hit some really good ones there too. And then when it comes to the full swing, if you practice chipping and putting, this move is pretty easy, and that's the takeaway. Everybody can benefit from just standing with the club and just turning your shoulders. Because the more you do that, the more you take your hands away from jerking it back, right? Because Roger, with your swing, you have a tendency to jerk back, and your head goes back with the hand. So if we can get to just do this, and it's like Cindy feels like she doesn't finish the golf swing sometimes. Well, when you've jerked it back really quick, it's going to be hard to do that. Yeah, and then knowing where the ball flight is, seeing the ball flight, you can see where the club is at impact. With Jerry, he knows if it's low and left, he's got the little over the top. So if you can practice, getting that hinge and trying to focus on coming down on the inside, and that you don't even have to hit balls. You can just sit there and practice, just turning in like this, and looking where the butt of that club is. If it's way out here, or if you've got here and you've already released it, look where that's at, and look where you're going to come, low and left, right? With Eddie, a lot of it was just his aim. He wasn't starting giving himself the proper position. So how many times when you've maybe hit a really good shot and thought it was bad, but you hit it right at your aim, and you just thought it was a terrible shot. Yeah. So for you, just practice, a little bit like Jared, not coming from the inside, but using a line. You don't need the line stick. You can use a driver and just set it down so you know your aim properly. And if you hit it left from that target, then you know you're coming up over the top. You guys have any questions? It does take some practice. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to happen overnight, but it's not huge things in any really your golf swings that are terrible. A lot of it is, you can feel a little bit of tension. That's part of the reason why Jared, why you come over the top, is he's trying to hit it so hard. And if you see it in the video at the top of your swing, you kind of stop, you hesitate, and then you kind of go after it over the top.
He's talking about Tommy Blue's up here. I've lost the club.
Yeah, so you maybe, obviously, be taking it back too far. Try not to take it back as far. Because you get way back here, and if you take it too far back, now you kind of do have to pull it back. See, that pulling back can bring it back over the top. But if you don't take it back as far, now if you think about the clock, maybe 10 o'clock and stopping your hands, now you can just pull it straight down. A lot of times that's where juniors get in trouble. Juniors try to hit the ball so far, they take the club back so far back here you know, for them, it's a lot to get the club back going the other direction. So they get that early release and early time. But the main part is just relief, just get rid of tension. Everything you can, a pre-shot routine, whether it's, you know, just turning your shoulders back with the putt, make sure you're practicing the putt and the chip. If you have to with the chip, act like you're tossing the ball to the hole. But just try to relax over shots. I know they're hard, but also if you practice them, it's going to make it a lot easier. And hopefully lower. I mean, 3 or 4 strokes around is great, right?